Hi, my name is Shawn Slaunwhite. Welcome to my video. My research used an online math fact building site called Reflex Math. The goal of this research was to determine if Reflex Math use impacted student success in grade 6 math outcomes. This research was completed for EDUC 5800 through Cape Breton University. As an educator, I often hear students, and even parents, say that they are not good at math. This is often an error in judgment that gets in the way of learning math. Many who find math challenging often lack the basic math fact skills needed. These skills allow the person to recall math values automatically based on past practice. Reflex Math offers an opportunity for students to practice their multiplication facts in an engaging manner. Currently, grade 6 students in Nova Scotia are scoring low in math or are showing little signs of improvement, as evidenced in the 2018-2019 Nova Scotia Provincial Assessment Summary of Data. In an effort to help students learn math facts, many educators are applying a gamified approach to learning. In a 2012 study by Shin and colleagues, they determined that students who use technology-based games outperformed those who use paper pencil. Many believe repetition is helpful when learning math. Burns and colleagues in a 2014 study suggested that some math facts require more repetition than others. When students do not know their facts automatically, they must think about other ways of finding the answer. This can distract the learner and move their thinking away from the actual problem. Woodward in 2006 suggested that without the ability to retrieve facts directly, or, in other words, automatically, students are likely to experience a high cognitive load as they try to perform a range of complex tasks simultaneously. All of this considered, how can we help students learn their facts so that they can apply them to grade level problems? Well, this is why Reflex Math was selected. ReflexMath.com has an approach that involves technology use, gamification, learner-centered lessons that provide meaningful repetition to help students with fact fluency building. The purpose of this study was to determine the impact providing students with access to the game-based online learning math fact building support, Reflex Math, will have on student performance in outcome-based related problems. This study had two major questions. How does the use of Reflex Math impact student performance in outcome-based related problems? And two, how does the use of Reflex Math as a means of building fact fluency impact student engagement? This study looked at 17 grade 6 students in the same grade 6 academic math class. Participants in this study were ages 10 to 11 years old. Students were previously enrolled in this academic grade 6 math class. The intervention in this study had students use the fact fluency building game-based site Reflex Math to help support academic math performance. Students used Reflex Math 3 times a week, each time for 30 minutes. This took place over a 4-week time period. Before the use of Reflex Math, students completed pre-tests containing questions from the grade 6 unit of factors and multiples. After the 4 weeks of using Reflex Math, students completed the same post-test. In this background figure, you will see the pre-test results in blue and the post-test results in orange. The test was out of a possible 14 points. At a quick glance, you will notice that the majority of students had a slight improvement. Their improvement was not quite enough to be determined as statistically significant. To assess student engagement, students completed a participant perception survey. Questions 1 to 5 are visible here as this background figure. Question 1 indicates that most students agreed that Reflex Math was more engaging than paper and pencil math practice. Question 3 also indicates that most students agree with the statement that I find Reflex Math a good challenge. Now I'd like you to note the background figure. It now shows the responses from the participant perception survey for questions 6 through 10. Here, I would like you to take note of question 8, where we can see that most students agreed with the statement that they felt Reflex Math helped build their fact understanding. As part of their participant perception survey, students also had an opportunity to speak about their experiences while using Reflex Math. One student indicated that it was cool because Reflex helped them with their fact building while it was like playing a game and combining math at the same time. Another said Reflex Math was interesting because it could tell them immediately when they got a question wrong. This instant feedback was helpful as it kept students more engaged and willing to try again. After looking at the pre-test and the post-test, and also considering the student feedback, it does appear that Reflex Math is an engaging program to help learners with their math facts. Reflex Math also tabulates the information about each student's fact fluency, and on their server it indicated that most students were way more fact fluent than before. However, the concern is that this study was interested in seeing how students could apply those facts to grade level outcomes. The results in the post-test indicated that many students still had difficulty applying the facts to grade level math outcomes. In conclusion, if you are a teacher that is interested in finding engaging ways to help support students in their learning of math facts, Reflex Math does show value. It is suggested that perhaps younger grade students start Reflex Math at a younger age to help build a fact foundation. Students in grade 6 are expected to know many of the math facts prior to entering grade 6. This may explain why some participants had difficulty applying these new facts to grade level problems. Future research could look at an experimental group and a control group, where the intervention would be reflex use. The control group would have to use just paper and pencil to practice their math facts. Results may be helpful to see if reflex students outperform paper-pencil activity students on grade level problems. It is also important to note that this research project took place during a worldwide pandemic. Many students and teachers have been impacted by the required changes, and perhaps students would have performed differently had the study not been taking place during the additional time of stress. Final thoughts. Thank you for sticking with me this far. This research project has been a positive experience for myself as a researcher and as a teacher. It provided me with an opportunity to learn about how to support my students using technology in the classroom. It demonstrates the need for me to also provide my students with other occasions for fact building. In this research setting, one 4-week session has not been enough to support my students in fact application to the grade 6 outcomes. Perhaps Reflex Math could be something that's integrated throughout the school year in addition to other class fact building opportunities. If you wish to learn more about Reflex Math, I encourage you to visit their website at www.reflexmath.com. Here you will find additional information about the program. Their website also contains other information and a link for teachers to sign up for a free trial for their students. Here, students can use the program for 30 days, free of charge. I thank you for taking the time to consider my research. I wish you all well and thank you for your continued support. I hope this presentation leaves you with another tool to consider in helping to support your students in their math learning.